This is a page from my junk journal that was started with random layers of leftover paint, and if you want to see how I built the layers and brought the whole thing together to this finished piece to help inspire you to finish your pages of leftover paint, then keep on watching. Oh, and I have some fun news for you too, which I'll share later in the video. So, shall we dig on in? I would like to say that this page took several months to come together, perhaps even years, but that might be a little misleading as the first paint on this page went down many months ago, but then the page just kind of sat in my junk journal untouched for ages, until last week that is. And I expect you have some similar pages as well in your junk journals or your art journals where you've finished off some leftover paint and cleaned off your tools, don't you? So last week I made that Space Butterflies page, and this is what I did with the leftover paint from that page. Did you see that video? If you didn't, I have a link to it in the cards and also in the description. And you'll see how I made this texture paste as well in that video. But don't worry, as always, all the products that I've used here today are listed below this video in the description. Well, the ones I can remember, that is. I can't remember what was the first paint that I used on here. That was just put down too long ago. As this is a page of random collections, I've decided to scrape that wonderful gold Holbein paint straight from the palette onto the texture. There was barely any left, so I didn't want to waste any of it. And I didn't want to water it down either. So I thought scraping would be the best way to go. And after putting that bit of paint down, I kind of left it and the page just sat there untouched for a week or so. It sat open near my desk and I kept looking at it and thinking, what shall I do next? Where do I want to take this? And then last Thursday I was working on a video that you'll see later on this week, but more on that later. And it resulted in some more leftover paint. So, wow, this time the paint is gold metallic Pebeo Studio Acrylic Paint. And at first, I wasn't sure how I wanted to add it to this page, so I just added it with a brush. And then as I was working, I decided to thin it out some more with water and let it drip and pool and see what effect the iridescent paint would have on the page once it was dry. As I did that, I just left the page again. It sat on my work desk as I was working on that other project. But when I finished that project up, a thought occurred to me and I decided that what this page needed was some more drips and splashes. This time I reached for the opaque white acrylic ink that I've been testing out recently, and I tinted it with some pink acrylic paint. Now, I knew that I wanted a light colour on this page, but that it would need to be opaque, even when thinned out, so that's why I used the white ink and I used it more as a thinner for the acrylic paint. So hopefully, even as I added water to thin it out some more, it would still be opaque enough to make a statement on this page. Okay, so now this page is starting to come together a little bit, but what to do next? And a few thoughts and directions surfaced, but the one that really stuck with me was to add these torn pieces of layout paper, as I knew I wanted to add some line work to this project, and I thought paper would be the best way to go. Now, if you're looking for some more inspiration for your leftover pages in your junk journals, I've linked up a playlist of different junk journal project ideas that you can watch through. So enjoy doing that, and I've left that at the end of the video. So if you've not used layout paper before, it's a very lightweight paper. It's somewhere between a tracing paper and, say, an ordinary printer paper or copier paper. And it's really useful for all sorts of projects. And I like to use it to make templates, to trace with when I don't want to use tracing paper, lots of different sorts of things, including blocking out an area on a page, but still allowing some of the layers underneath to peek through. And unfortunately, it's easier to see the effect in real life than it is on camera. The camera tends to pick up the paper as reflective white when it's dry. So in fact, how you see it now whilst it's wet with the matte medium that I'm using to stick it down with is pretty much how it looks in real life when it's dry on the page. Of course, I could have used paint to block out these areas or gesso, but I kind of like that torn edge look. And I didn't want to completely obscure what had gone before. As soon as the medium was dry, I added my line details. And to draw these flowers, I'm using a Unipin marker, which I love these markers. They're amazing. They're really good. But just as with other markers like this, if there's any texture on the page, it tends to play havoc with the nibs. So if your brushwork is good, I would suggest using a brush to do this instead of a pen. But I knew I wanted a crisp, thin line, which I can't yet get with a brush. Well, not when I'm working quickly anyway. So I went ahead and sacrificed a pen to get the look I wanted. I know, crazy, but once I started I was kind of committed and didn't want to change tracks. Kind of like where this page is now going. So it's been a long time since I last asked you to help me out with a naming. So what do you think? Does a name pop out for you for this page? Let me know in the comments below. And please do like the video if you're finding it useful, and become one of my subscribers too. Now you are going to want to click that notification bell because of the news you have been waiting for. Next Friday, 20th of April 2018, my channel will be taking part in a mixed media video hop. There will be so many new and favourite artists to watch and be inspired by, and lots of prizes to win too. So you might want to set yourself a reminder now. So book it into your calendars. Have fun flipping through your art journal today, and I hope that one of your old leftover paint pages just pops out at you and you get that urge to finally finish it and give it a purpose and some art. I'll be back here in my usual art slot next Wednesday. In the meantime, here are some more videos plus those junk journal videos that I was talking about, so get stuck into them and enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon.